So another beautiful thing about Blab, since this is the first time you've used it, after it's done recording and you're done with the session, it asks if you want to just automatically upload it to YouTube, your YouTube account. It's really super fantastic easy. I signed up for Periscope, and I have some ideas of what I can do on Periscope. It seems like it's a little bit more self-centered, not in a bad way, but it's not as, I think, interactive. But I think there's a chat. But I don't know if you could have two people on at the same time, which is another reason why I like the Blab platform too, because you've got the whole ability to do interviews and.
Yeah, I'm more of one of those people that kind of feeds off the energy of others. So me sitting there talking to myself, I do it if I have to. Not really my thing.
I like your headphones. Okay. Oops, I'm hearing an echo there. I know I asked Sean for a good, for Christmas to get me a good set of headphones for stuff like this, because I can't deal with those in-ears. I think my ears are just small and they keep falling out and they're like poking me. I like the ones that cover your whole ears, even though you look like an airline pilot, like about to take off, but it's cool because you actually are a pilot.
I am, yeah.
Okay, so everybody, it is 10 a.m., so I'm going to get started. Today on my lovely Blab channel, what do I call it? It's the Blab channel with Chris. I have Angie Mroczka, and she is not only an author, but a serious self-publishing maven. She's my guru, the go-to person who I recommend everybody to when they say, oh, I'm going to self-publish. I'm like, holy cow, wait, you better talk to somebody. It's like we all try to, you get this idea that it's, just self-publishing, that's all. And it's pretty darn major. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing because it gives authors now this freedom that maybe wasn't there before, all this opportunity and freedom. But with that, you still need a lot of help. So Angie's not only an author in her own right, she is also a marketing and branding strategist for other authors. She knows how to build websites. She knows how to design and illustrate with amazing tools. More digital illustration, I guess, is probably what she uses. So her official bio. She's a certifiable geek and publishing expert who helps self-published authors use technology to build sustainable writing careers. And she's very super creative and artistic, which, again, if you're somebody who's publishing and you need somebody to do a book cover, to do, the inside layout for Kindle and all the print book and all these different yada yadas, which she might be able to tell us about later, you can sit there and learn how to do it all yourself, or you can hire Angie to do it for you. And do what you're best at, which is writing. But then what Angie's really going to talk to us about today is from her book, Author Identity, Build Your Brand, Sell More Books, Change the World. So her whole, point of view is, that's great, you're a writer, that's great, you wrote a book, but guess what? Nobody's going to know about it unless you do your marketing.
That's right.
Okay, so back to the official bio. So she's worked with dozens of authors like Laura DeLuca, who's, I read, what did I read? Something about a stag. Does she write like paranormal stuff, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Paranormal, and she's got some romance that just came out. The contemporary romance just came out, but you probably read her Beltane one, Stag Hunt. Probably.
Yeah, I really liked it. She's worked with me on Return to Enchantment, which is doing really well, especially when I read her. We'll get to that, about feeling the whole confidence thing. And then there's someone else named Kirja who she also helped bring their titles into the world. She's published 98 books that have sold more than 75,000 copies in the last 4 years. Woo! With a background that includes a unique mixture of art, design, marketing, and business, she has the skills to help writers overcome their technical and marketing challenges, sell more books, and recover more of their precious time. So you can write. So welcome, Angie.
Hey, thank you for that awesome introduction. It's a pretty fancy book cover you have.
Yeah, where's my book? I know, I can't stop parading it around. I think I should be in the Christmas parade in Santa Barbara and be like, duh, wear my Santa hat and parade it around for people to see. I think that would probably sell a lot of copies. Could be like, who is that weird person? And why are they parading around a book? Yeah, I'm really proud of it. And because you made it look beautiful, that's the thing. You can be a great writer, but if it looks like shiz Nas, no one's going to think it's going to be good. Right?
That's totally that is totally true. You know, people talk about the fact that you don't judge a book by its cover and all that other mess. And the truth is that that's kind of how we're conditioned. We're conditioned to look at things and to make snap decisions. Is it going to be worth my time? Is it not going to be worth my time? And we have to, with so much noise in the world, we have to, we have to stand out. We have to be special. We have to make people curious so that they want to learn more. And that's kind of where author identity came from.
So the very first statistic you give in the book was really like eye-opening. 9 out of 10 books each year will sell less than 100 copies. Yeah. I sold over 100 copies. I'm like, not much more than that. I think it was like 141 or something. I was like, oh, praise God. Oh, man. But basically, Angie says that marketing makes all the difference to the other 10% that sell more than 100 books a year. So my first question for you is, why is marketing such a dirty word for authors?
And I talk to people, quite often, in aspiring authors, in other groups that I'm in, and when people think of the word marketing, they think of the salesman at the used car lot, and they think that's what marketing is. And all those people that send like emails every single day and are like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And they don't realize that, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. And apparently someone is doing our lawn. Okay, so we're going to have to deal with, lawn noise now.
I can't hear it. I think we're
okay.
Good.
I have a new mic, so
it's pretty strong, yeah.
Okay, cool. And I have a sore throat, too, so on top of that.
Oh, Carib, my dog just came in and stole something. Carib, get out. Ay. Stealing leftovers on the plate. He's like, oh, she's busy. I'm going to sneak up behind her.
So, people have this mentality that asking people to buy things from them is just, it's gross. It is, it's something that they shouldn't do, because we're taught that, hey, you need to give, and you need to give, and you need to give, and you need to be this awesome person that does things for other people, and that's how you get people to like you. And if you start asking people for money, then they're not going to like you anymore. And the truth of the matter is, you kind of have to reevaluate the way that the relationship that you have with, your intended audience, and say, okay, by not doing this, by not sharing what I've written, by not sharing what I've learned, am I actually hurting them? Because, your hang up on money might be hurting someone.
You see this little thing floating up?
Oh, okay.
So if you click on the little hands, that's like a high five, like, dude, you're right on, man. So I'm high-fiving you. And there goes the dog barking.
So, your hang-ups, can get in the way of, giving your ideal reader what they need. And you just have to kind of reevaluate, readjust what marketing means to you, and look at it from a different perspective. So it doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be something that is uncomfortable for you. it's about relationships. And, you know, instead of just, you know, sending a bunch of crap out to other people, you know, it can be more of a one-on-one thing. It can be, you know, wholesome, and it can be an experience where, you know, you're sharing something very deep with other people. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed with author identity. It's learning where your ideal reader, learning who they are, learning what they need, and then providing them what they need.
Beautiful. And also doing stuff like this, doing interviews. I mean, this is all stuff that builds brand, and I guess maybe platform, which I'm going to ask you about later, to kind of delineate, because they seem kind of similar, but I was confused. So I don't know. There might be other people out there.
There are. A lot of people, I think, they get confused on the difference between brand and platform. And did you want me to answer that one?
Why don't you get into it, since it came up?
Okay. So your brand is kind of, the way that I explain it is your story. But it's not like all of you. You're kind of like a diamond. And there's different facets of your personality that you show to different people. Your brand is one of those facets that you show to your ideal readers and the people that follow you, your tribe. Now, you know, you build your brand through different items, such as your books, your website, you know, your logo, okay? Your email address even is a way that you are branded, because, you know, high5joe@gmail.com versus, you know,
Joe Schmo.
me at Mroczka.com, or, you know, Angie at authorgeek.com. You kind of, I don't want to say, I mean, you create yourself like a person in a book, and then, you know, you are that person. That's your character. So, you know, Angie, the person doing this interview, isn't necessarily Angie, the person who sits behind the computer and does the, you know, all the geeky stuff that I do. You know, like, you know, a lot of people. I'm an introvert.
Uh-oh, you froze, babe.
I have a lot of time to myself. I'm not.
Okay, there you are. You're back.
Someone who. Oh, did I? Okay. I definitely like to have, you know, a lot of my own time and a lot of things that I'm not necessarily very comfortable on video, but, you know, I fake it till, you know, I get there, and it all kind of works out. Platform, however, is how you communicate with your ideal readers. So it's those emails that you send, those either newsletters or you know, just an email, you know, to say, hey, I've got a new blog post up. It is your blog. So it's posting on your blog and providing information, providing great, valuable content to your readers. It is, these interviews are obviously, you know, this interview is, you know, platform. Guest posting is a platform as well. So it's just a way of you communicating. So your brand is the story and kind of your marketing character, and then your platform is, you know, your two-way channel of communication. So you send emails to people, they email you back, you know, and that's a really great way to start, you know, building your brand, is making yourself visible. And then the way to keep people as members of your tribe and to, you know, show them that you are worth their time and worth the, you know, buying the book, is to build the platform and keep people. So, you know, get into like retention and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know,
it's a science and an art, right? You know, if it's all science, then it has no feeling. And if it's all art, then it's a chaotic disaster. So, you know, it's definitely an interesting world. And, you know, you're just, I mean, I'm amazed by you, by your, you know, how young you are and just how much you know, and the breadth of what you know, the depth of what you know is so really insane compared to a lot of other people that I've worked with on branding even. So hats off to you, lady. You're really how long, and you'll be 34?
I'll be 34 this year.
Well, wait till you hit 47.
Yeah. I'm getting up there. Finally.
Yeah, I think it gets better. I think once you hit 40, like my 40th year was like the best. And, this year wasn't so great, but I feel like I'm getting ready for 50, because 50 is only 3 years away. And that's, I think, like kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. That's like a paradigm shift. Because, when you're young, you're like 50. That's old, and now you're like, dang, I'm old, but I don't feel old. And I'm still immature, which I don't plan on changing that much.
Yeah. And, I built
the rubber ducky
a little bit. It's my brand because, I've done that is actually a really funny story. I was sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what the heck am I put on my book cover? And so I was on Adobe Stock, and
I was getting saged by Sean in his pajamas as he was bringing me a coffee. It was a spiritual coffee delivery. That was quite interesting. Okay.
It's awesome. Sage and a coffee. Awesome. So yeah, I was on Adobe Stock going, okay, what the heck am I going to put on my book cover? And so I just started searching terms like, I wrote a blog post on this, and I don't even remember, what was I searching? Like standing out, and not being in line with everyone else, and some other random things. And I found the ducks, and then I found a line of gummy bears. And so they were like a line of red gummy bears and one green gummy bear. So I was kind of
here. Yeah, it's a great website. Everybody, I'm going to type in her website here in the chat box so you can see it, and it'll show up in the replay too, which is great. So all those links, I'll put a link to your book right here as well. I love the pink popping, like the accent pink. I think that's kind of newer for you, but I love it.
Yes, it is actually, because my last website was Angie.com. It's actually still up because it's where my portfolio is, and I really haven't transitioned everything over yet. But it's very big difference between the two, and I designed them both. But I was kind of going for beautiful books to I'm a chaotic mess that writes books and helps people, and I'm a nerd. So it was a big shift for me that's really happened in last year, and just rebranding and stop. I am Angie Mroczka, but I don't necessarily have to like beat that into people's
I still have a hard time spelling it. I'm always having to copy and paste it. If I try to spell it, I always. What did you say?
Author Geek is so much easier to find. I said Author Geek is so much easier to find, and it's easier to remember. I even had Tough Coins be like, "Hey, I love your brand." He's like,
I
awesome.
think it's your brand is awesome. I love the the authorgeek.com looks really streamlined. It's gorgeous. And it feels really good. And it feels like you know what I mean? I mean, there's that other side of you that I know also, but I think that this makes it really easy and clear for authors to figure out how to work with you. I mean, that's kind of the point, so people can find you and go, yeah. But we need t-shirts. We need t-shirts with the rubber ducky and the t-shirts with the gummy bears. I think Author Geek t-shirts are a must. I think you got to put that on your swag list. And mugs too, coffee mugs maybe might be a good one.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing a black duck collection of shirts and stuff. Just because, I don't when I'm doing a lot of formatting and stuff, I don't really get to indulge my creative side because, it's all looking at, ones and zeros, letters, making them all look pretty. But, that's kind of a far cry from the digital art side where I totally like to I live there, you know. But yeah, I'm thinking, are you the black duck?
Cute.
Like, sure.
I think it would work. So I have a question for you that so what about newly self-published authors that really like just decided, to do it on their own, not to ask for help, studied how to do everything and did it all. And, their books on Amazon, on Kindle, or wherever else it is, but they've never done any marketing for their book before. What advice, or where would you tell them to start? Like, how would they start with their marketing? Because obviously, I mean, someone like you, like when I was writing, you kept reminding me, who's your ideal reader? Who are you writing for? Don't just write. Who are you writing for? And it was like, it really helped me not get too far off a field. But a lot of people just write and publish. They don't even think about marketing. And that doesn't mean their book's not going to be good, but they might not really even know who their ideal reader is and stuff like that. So can you give me like a walkthrough of what that would look like?
Okay, so I think for author, we're gonna make a name for our author because we like to do that for ideal readers. So this author, her name could be Sue. So Sue has published these books, and she's just kind of the seat of her pants. She did the study, she got in there, she did her thing, and so she's probably not seeing the kind of sales that she wants to see. And I see that every single day. My first thing for her would be to plan a relaunch. But before she does that, kind of steps to get to that point, she definitely is going to want to hone in on that ideal reader. With the book, there's actually a workbook, but you can literally search the internet for worksheets and information on reader avatars and ideal readers. I think that's even discussed in your book, is it not, Miss Chris? So, Return Your Enchantment, Chris Oster. So, the reason that you want to get so very clear on these people is because when you write your marketing copy, and marketing copy, that sounds terrifying to most people. Your book blurb, again, terrifying. When you write these things, you want to be able to connect to what they need. So what is it that this person is interested in? What is it this person needs you to help them with? You pretty much have to prove to them that they need your book. They're not just going to come out of the woodwork and be like, oh my gosh, your book's amazing. You have to prove to them that you are worth their time. And by knowing who they are in the first place, that's step one. Step two is, it's connecting with that need, connecting with a way that you can make their life better. And what their life is going to look like after they've read your book, after they've worked with you. And so if you can prove to them, hey, this is who I am and this is what my book about, and this is how it's going to help you make your life better, then, you've got them to click, maybe read your sample. Your sample has got to be outstanding. So that means that when they look inside the book, either on Amazon or if you download the sample to their Kindle, it needs to look professional. So, you can use Word to format a book. This is kind of crazy to people, but yes, I use Microsoft Word to format books every single day. It's not rocket science. I use the Smashwords rules. Go to Smashwords and download their style guide, read it, hire someone. Ebook launch, they are cheaper than I am. They are like $49 maybe. Sore throat. But get someone who's going to make that interior of your book look outstanding. Have a great cover, because if you don't have a great cover, people aren't even going to click on the book in the first place to give you a chance. You know, again, it comes back to people do judge the book by its cover, and having a fantastic cover that really pops and really just helps them connect with you is going to get them to kind of go down this path of I click, I read.
Well,
apparently I choke.
Okay. Well, one thing I wanted to point out too, even was that the title of your book and then the subtitle actually has the results that people will get from reading your book in the title. Author identity, build your brand, sell more books, change the world. So what is this book going to do? It's going to teach me to build my brand, sell more books, and change the world. So I think there's a real...
Absolutely.
I just know how much I benefited, especially for the first book. Like now, I think I already kind of channel you. Like I'm writing my other book, my other nonfiction book. And as I'm writing, I'm remembering the stuff you told me as I was writing the other one. Like as I'm forming my table of contents, because I always do that first now. And I'm like, okay. And actually for this next book, I really need to do a lot more market research, because I think I have to prove its worth more than this one. But I think it's going to be the one about pleasure and it being help release inhibitions and stuff like that. So, you know, having someone like Angie from the very beginning, especially the first time you want to write something and put it out there, because obviously this is something that means a lot to you. It's an idea, it's a movement, it's your work, it's your life's work. Really, yeah, really treat it with respect. And if you work with somebody from the beginning, when you start to write something, I mean, I basically compiled a bunch of different workshops first, and that's what made the bulk of the content for Return to Enchantment. So I had just like this raw material to work with. So before I came to Angie, I went to a 30-day mastermind and spent 30 days I worked on my outline, table of contents, and the first rough draft. And I mean, it was, 30 days to do all that. It was rough. I mean, I think maybe other authors would go, that's not even a rough draft. I don't know what that is, but whatever. You just kind of, I think everybody does have their own way of working, but when you are with someone who really understands not only good writing, but good marketing, and the fact that if you have your ideal reader in mind from the very beginning of a book, it's going to have a lot more resonance with people. And I mean, aside from sales and all that stuff, I think it will make more of an impact. And then I think also on the other end of it, yeah, you will make more sales. I mean, I'm not particularly, I think between my print book and the ebook, I'm probably at like 500 sales. My goal for this year was 1,000. So I probably won't make it to 1,000, but I'm going to at least make it over 500 copies sold of the whole 9 yards. But my print book, I sold 141 copies so far. And I really didn't push too hard with my blog tour. I really didn't ask enough people. And that's what I noticed. When someone else blogged about my book, their friends would buy it. When someone would email their list, then, you know, I'd sell like 10 or 12 copies at once. It was like, holy cow. So you not only want to just, sorry, Angie, we'll stop in a minute, but just wanted to put in something that I think, you know, you'll appreciate too, that, you know, sometimes even more entrepreneurial people that are used to marketing a lot still have those, you know, self-doubts like, oh, is this really a good book, and blah, 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 blah. And even though you're not really like going around saying that, you're acting that way by not going out there and asking more people to be on your blog tour, right? So, because the thing is, you're going to ask people, and some people will say yes and don't show up because, you know, life happens. You're going to ask people and they're going to say no. So I asked 20 people and then 10 came through. So if you want, you know, 30 blog kits, you got to ask at least 60 people. You know, you got to ask probably double than what you would really want or more. And I also made a list of people that I really already had a relationship with, or that I really admired their work. And I found that sending them, I sent a lot of individual emails. Besides, I also sent an email to my list announcing that I was having a blog tour and people could jump on it and let me know what they wanted to do. So I did that as well. So I, you know, obviously invited my list because that's my platform, right? Those are my people. They're already built in. So something that Angie's book talks about is how to start building that list up even while you're writing your book. Get it going, get it moving. So I think that's all my stuff I have to say, but I do want you to check out Angie's website. It's gorgeous, it's informative, and you can figure out how you can work with her if you are an author. It's authorgeek.com. The link is in the chat on the right-hand side here in the blab. And I know she's got some classes coming up. Do you want to tell us about it, or do you want to maybe put a link to it? Because I know you've got a throat thing. Seraphina has a cold right now, by the way, too. I'm punching the vitamins. It's no fun. All right, my peeps. Angie has put in her upcoming webinar. Okay. Let me click on that so I'll read it for you. It's with Angie and Theodore Roach, #1 best-selling author, book marketing coach, and co-founder of Write, Publish, Thrive. I think I've seen him in one of our groups, right? So they're having a live webcast event Thursday, December 10th from 4 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. So here's what you'll get. You'll get a bird's eye view of all the major steps and milestones in the self-publishing process, know what steps to take and in what order to execute them for best results. The roadblocks to avoid. That's super important too. There will be obstacles to get between you and your goal of self-publishing. Learn about the potential traffic jams ahead of time so you can plot alternative routes around them. And book launch tips. Launch. It's like, I don't know how many launches I've done of my book now. I think this was the third one. There might have been whatever. So, but the thing is, once you write a book, it just doesn't sit there and, I mean, eventually it'll take fire, but you have to constantly promote and find creative ways to do it so you don't drive people crazy. So something else to keep following Angie. She's somebody who can really, you know, help you, and she's got great communities. Is your Facebook community open, or is that invite only? Oh, she says she'll reschedule when she has a voice. Oh, well, take care. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we've lost the stars lost her voice. We're gonna have to send her back to Hogwarts. That's a great T-shirt, by the way. Super awesome. Woo! She is definitely the mama of book witchcraft. So check her out. Follow her everywhere she is because she's super awesome. Thanks, Angie. Take care. Talk to you soon.